heaven, and hell are real. Research in quantum mechanics and neuroscience have also confirmed this. Knowledge is the main thing, therefore seek knowledge, and with all that you possess, obtain it. Proverb 4:7. A subject about the afterlife, I agree, is still frightening, but we must take our life in our hands and accept our human condition in joy. Our intensity in this video is to remind you of the laws of the universe governing everything. We want to help you remember that you are extensions of the source energy, the sons and daughters of the Most High our God. The kingdom of God is in you. You are the loved ones, blessed, and have come to incarnate you in this spatio-temporal reality, with the aim of improving yourself and participating in the creation of the world, in contentment, satisfaction, and joy. Rejoice, for you are already eternal beings. You are absolutely creating your own reality. As we shall see, your celestial or infernal future has foretaste in your present world, created by yourself. There is no one else to blame, for each of you is the creator of your own experience. All the most famous religions in the world claim unequivocally that there is life after life. As Cardinal Ratzinger sums up, there is no need to argue. The notion of eternal damnation has its place in the teaching of Jesus, as in the writings of the apostles. The dogma affirming the existence of hell and eternity of damnation therefore rests on solid foundations. All gurus, spiritual masters, and ascended masters are unanimous. We can reach enlightenment, the help of these ascended masters, of which Jesus Christ is assured. In life after death, or life after life, the experiences of pain and pleasure become more intense than they were in earthly life. These subjective states of intensified suffering or joy are called hell or paradise. If we read the Gospels, we will see that Jesus speaks more than 50 times of the existence of a place of torture, which we call hell or lower region, place of death. Here are some references. The wicked will be cast into the fiery furnace. There will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Matthew 13:42-50. It is better for you to enter life mutilated than to go with both your hands into Gehenna, into the fire that is not extinguished. Mark 9:43-47. Speaking of the last judgment, Jesus will say to those to his left, "Go away from me, cursed, to eternal fire, prepared for the devil and his angels." Matthew 25:41. The conclusion of the parable of the talents and the announcement of the last judgment show well that the final fate of men is not identical for all. Those who have made the talents receive fruitful are told, "Very well, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful to small things. I will put you at the head of a great enterprise. Enter into the joy of your master." Matthew 25:21-23. But the lazy servant who has buried his talent in the ground will be cast into the darkness of the outside. There will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Matthew 25:30. Darkness, which is the antithesis of Jesus, presented as the light of the world, which enlightens every man. John 1:9. And the same applies to the teaching on the last judgment, Matthew 25:31-46, which ends with this verse. Then they will go away, they will go to eternal pain, and the righteous to eternal life. In Islam, the conceptions of a corporeal beyond made of pleasure and pain are also widespread and diverse. This shows that the Islamic tradition seeks to associate notions of intellectual and spiritual happiness with physical well-being. The idea of paradise and hell in the Islamic religion is, in essence, close to that of the monotheistic religions related to Islam, Christianity and Judaism. In Hinduism, the Naraka or hell is also a place of testing and redemption to obtain reincarnation. Naraka, the hell of the dead in Hinduism, has evolved over the centuries. In the 2nd millennium BCE, all the deceased were sent to an underground location. According to the darkness of their souls, the kata or hole, the vavra or the prison, and the parshana or the abyss separated them. The point of intersection is the same for all religions. the existence in the afterlife of a place of extreme suffering and another place of absolute happiness. Religions claim that life after life will consist of a transformed earthly body, also called a glorious body, capable of seeing God. Throughout life, the human body continues to evolve, to reshape itself, more simply to age, in a dizzying ball of heads. One question that comes up often is, how old will our glorious bodies be? In fact, there is no age. It is a fact, told several times in the Gospels, that always amazes. When the risen Jesus appears to his disciples, he is both the same and the other. He is different because he is not recognized. The episode of the disciples fleeing to Emmaus is famous. Luke 24. His body thus escapes the limits that are ours. It crosses the walls. But at the same time, his risen body remains a physical body, for Jesus walks, speaks, prays, asks to be touched, and eats. See Luke 24:37-43, or John 20:27, and John 21:12-13. At the time of the Ascension, Jesus was lifted up to heaven with his body. Now seated at the right hand of God, he shared the life, the strength, the glory. He is physically separated from his disciples, but he remains historically present to them, thanks to the Holy Spirit. Christian faith says that the body of Jesus Christ is now glorious. By glorious body or supple body, we mean that which is beyond the understanding of the five senses, mind and intellect. It is composed of soul, spirit, or pure consciousness, or simply pure energy. While you were with the source energy in the non-physical dimension, with a subtle body, you opted to enter physical spatio-temporal reality in the company of other beings, and to assume an identity with a clear and precise perspective. Jeremiah 1 verse 5. You knew that you could never be separated from the non-physical dimension from which you came. You then understood perfectly the nature of your eternal bond with the source energy. The non-physical energy that creates the worlds always flows through your decisions, your intentions, and each of your thoughts. Jeremiah 20 verse 9. What each one feels is determined only, from instant to instant, by the type of energy he nourishes in himself, his emotional state. Your state of being simply and constantly reveals the degree of vibratory balance between your desires and the vibrations emanating from you. Of satisfaction, every positive creation, your abundance, your clarity, your health, your vitality, and your well-being, as well as everything you think is good, depends on your current state of being and the relationship between that feeling and you. The earthly plane, in fact, is the only plane where there is a fusion of persons with variable spiritual levels. However, in the afterlife, we go into a precise subtle region corresponding, on average, to what was our earthly spiritual level. Earth life is therefore very important. It is the only area where we can make rapid spiritual growth and settle our account of giving and receiving, karma, in the shortest time. The main reason is that with the help of the physical body, we can do many things to improve our spiritual growth and our spiritual level. Unlike all other spiritual planes, the earthly plane allows to experience a wide range of emotions. The angelic plan, for example, is exclusively inhabited by entities having exclusively unconditional love. The astral base, inhabited by demons, knows only fear, hatred, and absolute desolation. In this way, by remaining attentive to what you feel, you will be able to guide yourself in achieving your own goals. Your downward emotional guidance scale is as follows. 1. Joy, love, freedom, and gratitude. 2. Passion. 3. Enthusiasm, complacency, and happiness. 4. Positive expectations and confidence. 5. Optimism. 6. Hope. 7. Contentment. 8. Boredom. 9. Pessimism. 10. Frustration, irritation, impatience. 11. Frustration. 12. Disappointment. 13. Doubt. 14. Concern. 15. Blame. 16. Discouragement. 17. Anger, 18. Revenge, 19. Hatred and rage, 20. Jealousy, 21. Insecurity, guilt, unworthiness, 22. Fear, grief, depression, despair, helplessness, shame. Each emotion corresponds to a frequency where you vibrate. When you vibrate fear, you have a very low energy frequency of the order of 0.1 to 2 cycles per second, in contrast to the vibration of the love emotion, which are around 200 cycles per second. At the earthly level, nothing is true in itself, and at the same time, everything is true. It is a question of resonance and of level of consciousness. Something that will seem true for someone at some point will not necessarily be true for someone else at the same time. What would seem true at the level of guilt, fear, anger, or reason would no longer be true at the level of trust, forgiveness, love, or peace. We each evolve at our own pace and fluctuate on the scale of consciousness, depending on our experience, our thoughts, emotions, beliefs, relationships, etc. If we want to contribute to more love, joy, and peace around us, the need is to install these qualities in us and to think, speak, write, and act from them in all circumstances. According to the knowledge gathered in the near-death experiences, the experiences of pain and pleasure become more intense than they were during the Earth's life. So if you have the misfortune to leave the earthly plane to the afterlife in fear, it is foreseeable that your fear will increase in the afterlife and will lead you exactly to the place or to the state of hell where fear and desolation reign. Leaving the earthly plane in joy, freedom, bliss, and gratitude no doubt propels you directly into a state or place considered by religions as heaven. This sheds light on how enlightened spirits like St. Stephen, Jesus Christ, instead of cursing their executioners, they have instead asked God for forgiveness on their part. The secret that spiritual gurus give is to always stay in joy and avoid quarrels and anger. The findings of a neuroscience study published in the journal Nature at the end of 2016 highlight the increased difficulties in forgetting negative emotions experienced before a night's sleep. Almost 2,000 years later, she also agrees with this word of the Bible. If you become angry, sin not. Let the sun not set on your anger. Ephesians 4 verse 26. Let's focus a little on the scale of consciousness of Dr. Hawkins, psychologist and Nobel Prize winner. Dr. Hawkins has indeed established a classification of the levels of vibration of consciousness on the logarithmic scale from -20 to 1000, which is fascinating. -20. The lowest level is that of shame, followed by guilt, -30. Apathy, -50. Fear, -100, etc. All these levels are in the negative, the black. The threshold between the negative and the positive is 200. Courage, with a whole series of levels that pass through acceptance, 350. Love, 500. Joy, 540. Peace, 600. To lead to enlightenment, 850 to 1000. This is a logarithmic scale, namely that courage, 200, is much more advanced than 2 times 100, fear. At level 500, and especially 540, unconditional love, the energy field of the individual becomes permanent. He no longer fluctuates, he no longer asks for anything, especially from others, for he rests in himself, in his fullness of being. According to Hawkins, 2 wise men on earth are at 700. One person at level 300 balances 90,000 people below 200. One person at 500 balances 750,000 people below that critical threshold, and one person at 700 balances 70 million below 200. For this reason, it can be said that the conscious raising of the level of consciousness of the human race is the most important activity of the planet today. 1000 is the maximum energy level supported by the human body and nervous system. This is the extremely rare level of the great avatars of the past, such as Christ, Buddha, Krishna, etc. The person who suffers from inner poverty is constantly trained to accumulate on the material plane. According to the last assessment before leaving us in 2002, Hawkins estimated that the average level of earthly consciousness was 209, which is perhaps what the Gospel tells us that few people will be saved. Luke 13 verse 24 to 30. On the other hand, those who wash their robes in the blood of the Lamb will be innumerable crowds at the feast of the kingdom. Revelation 7 verse 9 to 12, which might correspond to what Hawkins says that a person on a scale of 1,000 like Jesus Christ balances many millions in levels of consciousness below 200. It is clear that if the Lord had found only 10 righteous men in Sodom, he would have spared this sinful city. Genesis 18:32. The frequency of your vibration depends on the emotion or your state of being of the moment. Your low vibration is very dangerous because it even makes it easier for viruses that vibrate at the same frequency, such as COVID-19, to attack you mercilessly. It is your choice to seek at all costs access to the high frequency coming from love, joy, gratitude, bliss, and even enlightenment. Let's go back to quantum physics. Quantum physics is, in fact, more than physics. It is a new form of mysticism, which suggests the interconnection of all things and all beings, and the connection of our minds with a cosmic mind. The brain's neural system forms a complex network, and the consciousness it produces must obey the rules of quantum mechanics, the theory that determines how tiny particles, like electrons, move. Some scientists believe that consciousness is generated by quantum processes, but the theory has not yet been empirically tested. We are all connected to everything that exists, regardless of distance. It is the famous phenomenon of quantum entanglement. The good you do in a given place is echoed throughout the universe and vice versa. Based on the physical criteria by which you define your experience in physical terms, you tend to define the non-physical plane as a non-physical one, but in reality it exists. It is real. It is vast, and it is a place, or rather a dismissal of pure, positive energy. So, from this vast, non-physical perspective, you have manifested yourself in this physical body. You are there as an extension of being of pure, positive energy, that you were in the non-physical world, being born and adopting the body. This conscious being, which existed on the non-physical plane, nevertheless continues to exist there. Therefore, from the point of view of your non-physical self, you have given birth to your physical self. Your non-physical self remains non-physically established, so that through your physical birth it now enjoys an even fuller expansion. Therefore you possess two powerful views, physical and non-physical. And nothing will ever be more important to either of these two wonderful perspectives than the relationship between them. Everything you experience is related to these two points of view, the physical and the non-physical, and the interactions that are established between them. Various research based on quantum physics, different research institutions have carried out research on the beyond, experiences of imminent death, or on the conscience after death, finding evidence that life continues after death. There have been many cases of near-death experiences where people have met the afterlife, like seeing the light or meeting their deceased loved ones. They told how they walked through the walls and how they saw the nurses in their offices and what they were saying. They even came into their own homes while their physical bodies were lying in the hospital bed. It seems clearer to us to name your physical self you, and your non-physical self your inner being. You can call your inner being the source, the soul, or God, but we prefer the inner being denomination, since it is the very root of what you are. So your inner being projected its consciousness into your physical self, and you came into the world. Now you are there, living, breathing, thinking, and simultaneously your inner being is living, thinking. And we wish you to remember that in your physical form you are an extension of what religions call God, and to the extent that you are the furthest extension of God, or the source, then God himself is expanding through you and with you. This non-physical source is constantly expanding through you, even if you are not aware of its existence or its connection to you. The universe is expanding through you. Communication between your physical, not physical, being is established through the miraculous power of your emotions. Many researchers in quantum physics have developed the idea that quantum mechanics has something to do with the functioning of the mind. They proposed that the wave function should collapse because of its interaction with the consciousness of the observer, the human being. Matter can become energy and vice versa, as Einstein revealed with his famous equation, E is equal to mc squared. But if you add up all kinds of energy at any given moment, that sum remains constant. Today, one of the other most discussed topics in neuroscience is the near-death experience. Many people report having mystical visions as their vital organs begin to die out. And while many explain the result as a kind of neurological blip, some scientists believe that it is possible to discover the basis of these experiments, and perhaps even to prove that there is, certainly, life after death, or at least a remnant of life that doesn't exhale with the body. The most recent case in the field of neurology is when Harvard Dr. Eben Alexander believed he had seen evidence of the persistence of consciousness after death in his own near-death experience. The theory does not mean that at death we are conscious of ourselves, or that we carry with us our personalities, but that our consciousness or our memories will return to the universe, perhaps even feeding on a kind of cosmic library, the depth of ourselves filtering through its primordial truth. Buddha, Christ, Brahman, Mohammed all focus on unity, peace and happiness in life. The way of life of Buddhism is this unfolding of the true sense of happiness, the true sense of our life and our existence. It allows us to live a dynamic and fulfilling life, a life of deep gratitude, reverence and humility. With the discovery of quantum physics, moreover, the universe could begin to be considered as a dynamic network of interconnection. Matter is energy and is unique and indivisible. The human being plays a central role in all physical processes. According to quantum physics, our connection to matter is crucial. Subatomic particles exist in all their possible states until we disturb them by observing them and measuring them. Subatomic particles are not tiny, solid objects, but packages of undefined, vibrating energy that cannot be precisely quantified or understood. Sometimes they act as particles, sometimes as waves. The existence of a quantum energy field implies that all matter in the universe is connected by waves spreading over time and space, reaching to infinity, and connecting every part of the universe to all others. All living beings, therefore also man, are made up of packets of quantum energy, particle energy, that exchange information with the quantum energy field, or the Creator. It is the strength of that field, rather than our genes, that ultimately determines our health or disease, and it is with that strength that we must resonate. Here we are witnessing an understanding of reality, where the great themes of science and spirituality come together in a very inspiring vision, linking all life to the whole universe. Bruce Lipton, an epigenetic expert, in his book, Biology of Beliefs, says that it is possible to change our body just by changing our way of thinking. You are extensions of the source energy, the quantum energy field. You are the blessed, loved ones, and you have come to incarnate in this physical reality with the goal of creating in joy. Just as this source created your world and yourself through the power of focused thought, you continue to create your immediate universe from where you are in this spatio-temporal reality. The very nature of your being is identical to the source. Jesus said, "He whom the Father has sanctified and sent into the world, you say to him, you blaspheme. And this because I said, I am the Son of God." John 10:36. Jesus quoted Psalm 82:6, "I said, you are gods, and you are all children of the Most High." You cannot be separated from the source. The only form of resistance to your connection to the source comes from you. As a physical extension of source energy, you are on the cutting edge of creative thinking. Your spatio-temporal reality was set up by the power of thought, long before it manifested itself in the physical form in which you now see it. Before I had formed you in your mother's womb, I knew you, and before you came out of her womb, I had consecrated you. I had established you as a prophet of the nations. Jeremiah 1:5. Rejoice, you are eternal beings, created to co-create the world in joy. Rejoice always in the Lord. I repeat, rejoice. Philippians 4:4. The failure of joy leads to your self-destruction, for the energy of your subtle body is affected. You then live in the lower energies of fear, wickedness, jealousy, which are common emotions in the lower astral hell. No one will condemn you to end your space-time life in hell, but you will lead yourself to it through the low-frequency emotions you will feed on. Pure love is not something that can be imposed or taken from someone by force. It manifests itself from within with spontaneity, without constraint. On the other hand, what can be achieved with the help of an energy decision is the elimination of the factors that prevent pure love from manifesting itself. Achieving this state of non-segretism is both difficult and easy. This is a difficult thing for those who have not decided to come out of limited self, and it is an easy thing for those who have made this decision. In the absence of a firm determination, the attachments to the limited self are too strong to be broken. But if one decides to reject selfishness at all costs, he will easily find a way into the realm of pure love. In the image of the hungry who ardently wishes to feed himself, the aspirant who wants to know pure love must yearn for it intensely. The task, which would otherwise have been difficult, becomes easy under the effect of an energetic and unwavering decision. Such a decision can only be born in his mind if he experiences a desire for pure love. Love is a quantum energy that propagates, diffuses, and creates beyond space and time. God created the world with very powerful energies of love. We can spread them all around us, but also remotely. We can thus transmit them in all things and in all places. Through our words, our actions, our attitude, we can also send these energies into everything we do. Love of work, leisure, art, sport, etc. And the result will be brilliant. Everything is love, so put love into everything you do. In life after death, the experiences of pain and pleasure become more intense than they were during life on earth. These subjective states of intensified suffering and joy are called hell and paradise. These are mental states or places, according to certain religious beliefs. The individualized soul, with all its memories, continues to exist in the inner worlds through its subtle and mental bodies, even after leaving the gross body at the time of death. Thus, the life lived in the physical body is only a section of the uninterrupted life of the individualized soul. The other sections of his life are expressed in other spheres. Our present incarnation must serve our evolution to light, purify if necessary our past, or improve it that is positive in us. For the Roman Catholic Church, it is reserved for men to die only once, after which comes the judgment. Hebrews 9:27. Reincarnation, however, for other religions will have the objective of continuing to purify the past or to improve it. We come to earth to evolve. Not seeking to evolve is a sin against the divine plan. Karma is a law of cause and effect. The actions accomplished and the resulting consequences in successive incarnations. The nature of matter of the body is temporal. Only the spirit is immortal. If you abide in my word, you are truly my disciples, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. John 8:31-32. The soul of Jesus continued to evolve in the love of Christ, in the love of God. That is why I say to you, each of you is potentially Christ, that is, a drive of God, a spark of love. But it is first necessary to make your way on the cross and then crucify your ego in order to rise again and thus reveal Christ in us, Christ who is each of us. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to press the like button, share, and subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell to be notified for the new videos available. To the next video.